What goes into branding and your brand voice if you are a digital service provider, a marketing assistant, or virtual assistant? Hey, I'm Emily Reagan. I train virtual assistants how to be highly paid, highly priced marketing assistants who have more schedule freedom and can charge more and do more project rates. This is the same kind of work I've been doing for years, and I teach my military spouse friends who are overeducated, underemployed, my stay-at-home mom friends who took a baby break and want to re-enter the workforce, and a lot of professional women who are doing a career switch or looking for extra money from a side hustle income. It's fun and freedom-giving freelance work. So here on this YouTube channel, we bring in guest experts. I show you how to build a better business, how to get more confident and learn the services so you can be successful and make good money from home, from anywhere. If you want to travel to Bali, that's on you too. So in today's episode, I have my friend Kristin Lawton here. She is a marketing expert, a brand messaging expert, and she's the owner of the District Bar in DC. She does full-on branding, websites, and content messaging for her clients who are quite often online business owners and brick and mortar business owners. Sometimes they have a team, sometimes they are just solopreneurs, or sometimes they might just have a VA. And so she can help them really get clear with their branding so that they're confident moving forward. They know what to talk about, how to show up, and all of that. Branding is so much more than a logo and hex colors. But you also need to know it as a service provider because we are not faceless over here. People are hiring us to work within their business. They want to trust us, see us, and we need to show up consistently. So Kristin today is going to teach us what goes into our own brand messaging as a virtual assistant, what goes into the brand voice guide. And this is a full-fledged episode over on my podcast, Unicorns Unite. We're just giving you a little bit of tidbit over here on the YouTube channel, and then you can go listen to the full episode. We'll put the link below. We'll also put a link to Kristin's quiz, and then you can find my freebie below, 10 marketing services to start with so that you can offer clients these in-demand services and make money from home. All right, and before we go, hit subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss another video. Let's jump in. So where can we start as a virtual assistant when it comes to branding, brand voice? And maybe we could just back it up and talk a little bit about what branding is.
Your brand is anything your audience experiences, right? So we aren't just talking your colors and your fonts and your look and feel. It is your messaging. It's your personality and tone and your brand voice. And it is how you show up online, or, it's really every part of your business that isn't the businessy stuff, right? It's not the back end. It's not the business finance stuff. It is what someone is going to experience. And that's why we always talk about wanting a really consistent, cohesive brand, because you want the touch points everywhere that someone is experiencing it to feel the same. And that's what we're talking about when it comes to wanting a strong brand or a way to stand out, is that the biggest thing you can do is just be consistent and cohesive throughout. And we're going to talk about exactly how to do that.
Okay. So where do we start with?
Yeah. So, for me, we start with your brand voice. And I think anytime someone is starting a business, and this works for VAs too, you're leading with yourself, right? So with VAs, people are signing up to work with you very much, right? You have a skill set and you've learned this and you've honed it and you are an expert at serving the, whatever it is that, social media or emails or whatever, but they're still working with you. It is still a personality-based business. And so I love working and creating your brand voice and starting with what that is. The best way to stand out is to be authentically you, because no one else is like you, period, right? No one then also has you plus your audience plus what you do all wrapped up. There is no one out there that is like you. So when you have a brand that you have crafted because it is based on, these your traits, your personality traits, what you enjoy, how you like serving people, it all will come together in a brand that feels really you. And that makes it really easy to then to market.
Talk about this consistency theme, because this is the other thing I see across my own clients, looking at social, auditing their people services guide. How can our brand be consistent?
Yeah. So I have an easy system of how you can make sure that every piece that you put out is on brand. And so basically there's 5 elements that go into your brand. So your brand voice, your key messaging. I include your words that you use, or like emojis. Like I love having branded emojis, so you have like your word closet emojis that you use, your colors and fonts, your sort of design aesthetic and like graphics and treatment that you do to your photos, and then also like your content pillars, so that you're speaking, and the copy and the content and the messaging that you're putting out is based around like a specific set of content pillars that you're using, so you're not sort of going off the walls. So basically all you have to do is make sure that there are 3 pieces in every piece of like content that you put out. So whether, you're designing, you're doing an Instagram thing, as long as it has like some of your messaging, your fonts and your colors, and like the right imagery, like you're good, right? Like it's just, I think we make it feel this big thing that we have to be like, oh, everything has to be on brand. But when it comes down to it, it's just break down the elements, right, of what goes into your brand identity, and just make sure that like 3 of those pieces are included in every piece of copy.
So what happens if it's not cohesive? Like what kind of message are we sending?
Well, it's jargon, right? I mean, I think it's jumbled, and we don't want a diluted message. And that's what happens when we sort of start putting out a lot of things that don't feel on brand. It just feels all over the place. It doesn't feel as professional, and it's not going to be memorable. And it takes like 7 times for someone to see your stuff, to remember you, to then even more times to take action. And so when they are consistently seeing something, they're going to start being like, oh, that's Emily's stuff. Like I can recognize that anywhere. And then when they're like scrolling through the podcast, they'll see the unicorn. They're like, oh, that's Emily. Let me go listen to it. Right. I mean, I think it's those little things that really will keep helping. And as a VA, I think clients are going to want to see what you do, right? And that if you can do this for your brand, you can do that for their brand too.
So what are people doing wrong with their brand that you see out there, especially when they come to you needing help?
I mean, a lot of it is that they're seeing what other people are doing, and then they're replicating that. And then it's not really clicking. I am working with a client right now, and they, it's with a team of people, and they're like, oh, we need to get on TikTok, and we need to do this, and we need to create a reel. And I'm like, you haven't posted about your mission and like what you do and how you serve people in like months. Like, let's start there. You don't need to create, some fancy thing. Let's just like, let's come back and talk about, why you do what you do, how you serve people, the transformation that you do. Like we need to create that evergreen branded content before you go into all of sort of that gimmicky things that you're seeing works for other people. But until you've established sort of like a baseline, like that doesn't necessarily work either.
How would you know if something's wrong with your brand?
Well, I mean, I think it's a lot like with anything else, like your emails, like, with emails, you can kind of look at like open rates and click-through rates and whatever. But I think the biggest thing maybe is you're looking at like unsubscribes and unfollows, and how many people are sort of like leaving and distancing your brand would be one way of saying you're not connecting the right messaging, or like they came on because they thought they were getting one thing, and then turns out like they're getting something else. So there's like some kind of disconnect between like what you're giving them and what they think they're getting would probably be the biggest. But I would say, just the simple thing of like, right, open everything and take a look at it. And if even you don't feel like it looks all the same and it sounds the same, like that's a problem. But I think probably it's about the disconnect between like what your message is and then what your audience is thinking that they're getting.
Okay. Do you have any like parting words with branding that maybe I didn't cover? Like anything I didn't ask? Because I feel like this is such a big topic.
I think branding, people do think about it as like graphic design and whatnot, and that maybe feels like intimidating. And then also I think maybe thinking about your brand is like the entire experience that people see, have when they work with your brand can be intimidating. But really it just comes down to like the external piece of your company. And the more that you can be, consistent and cohesive around that, like the stronger that brand is going to feel to the audience. But, a lot of it is just like one piece at a time. With my calendar, because I do think you also have to like refresh it every once in a while. So we hit on everything like once a year, we like cycle through and like just making sure all those little things are like updated. And I think as a VA, sort of making sure that stuff for your business is up to date. And then as you work with clients, but it's just like every once in a while, like check your online presence. Like go through, Google yourself, right click, open every instance in a new tab and just like see, like, does it all feel the same? You know, is the same message coming across? What's outdated? What kind of like service did you sign up for forever ago that you know, is out there, but you haven't updated? And just sort of like make sure that it all feels like you and that it's something that you can be proud to like be living online. And if not, like take it down or update it. And when you do those sort of like small things throughout the year, like your brand upkeep will be really easy.
Okay. You have a fun quiz to help us figure out our marketing, our signature brand marketing style. So tell everyone about this because it's so fun.
So obviously it's cocktail themed because hello. But you're going to discover if you are on the rocks, shaken, stirred, or neat. And it's all about your personality type when it comes to marketing. And so I'm going to teach you and show you sort of after you take the quiz and you get your results, what will feel the most like natural way to market your brand and how to sort of lean into that style.
Thank you. This interview has been so fun. You shared such good insight. I think everyone's going to walk away more confident with their brand, being able to shine a little bit there. And hey, once again, there's even more where that came from. We have a full podcast episode over on my show, Unicorns Unite with Kristin. We talk more about branding, mistakes people make, how to fully use ChatGPT, all of the goods when it comes to getting clear on your branding as a service provider, and then a little bit of what her packages look like and how she helps clients in case you have a client who needs something more than what you're able to give right now. So find all the links below, links to my freebies, Kristin's freebies, and make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss another video. I'm all about helping you level up your virtual assistant business so you're making more money. You're not tied to traditional office hours. You're not tied to hourly rates so that you're working with dream clients and making good money for you and your family. I'll see you in the next video.